Yo, what's going on, DJBooth.net? This is DJ Blaze, and this is part 2 of our Native Instruments Traktor Kontrol S4 MIDI controller full video review. So let's continue where we left off. So I was explaining to you guys real quick, I'll go over it one more time, the idea of the sample deck. Again, each deck has a total of 4 samples that you can assign within the track that you're playing, and those samples will be available on deck C, or the alternate deck for the first deck, or if you're working on this deck over here, deck B, the alternate deck that these sample decks will play on will actually be deck D, which is controlled by deck D assignments here. So let's just run through it one more time. These samples, they can be either on they can be second beat, every 4th beat, every 8th beat, every 16th, or every 32nd. You know, you can grow it and cut it as you need, and also you can save them just as you need. So we'll just do a quick demonstration here.
What you mean I ain't call you? I hit you when I landed.
So let's just say we want to set
waiting
a sample. Let's set a short one.
Seems like we're arguing more and it's getting less romantic. Yeah, I think she'll be able to tell soon, but I f*** you right, I will. I f*** you right,
now,
I will.
Since we pressed that play, that's actually the record.
Ever made you
so
feel. I mean,
stop it for a second. Come over here and you see the corresponding sample deck. Deck A is now here, and you see there's a waveform in it, and that's those four beat notes that I just took the sample in. So if we can play it here, we can put the volume on number C here, and we can click play.
And I will, but I f*** you right, I will, but I f*** you right, I will.
And it's gonna keep playing in this endless loop, because there's a loop signal right here. If I make that into a straight line, it'll just play it one time and then stop. I'll put it back in loop because loop is cool.
Yeah, but I f*** you right, I will, but I f*** you right, I will.
Alright, so we have one there.
It's part of our relationship's amazing.
And we'll set another one here.
I might just put up with the arguing and stay for real. You looking bad, girl, for goodness sakes.
Alright.
All those...
And we can come back and play it now on deck C.
Hell, you looking bad. Hell, you looking bad. But I'm looking bad.
You can play them both at the same time if you want.
I'm looking bad.
Or you can play 3 at a time, 2 at a time, 1 at a time, however you want it.
Looking bad.
And when you want to erase those, you just hold Shift and you press the sample, and voila, it's gone. So that is the sample in a nutshell. You can remix with the samples, you can mix them in, you can use them as they'll be on the separate deck, and it's almost, you know, just as good as playing with other track sources, but maybe not as confusing. So those who just want to use 2 sources, but then, you know, extend something or create a little bit of flair to their mix, they can just use these sample banks and use those alternate channels for that purposes. Or instead of using this channel here, the C and D channels for sample banks, you can also go back and set them to play, you know, regular tracks. So these would be like a full deck. And also when you're playing these samples, you can click deck C and you'll have total control of them here using the jog wheel. So that was a quick rundown again on the sample deck, just in case you guys missed it the last time. Next up we have the jog wheels. The jog wheels on these things are very, very tight. They remind me a lot of the Pioneer CDJ model, their newer style CDJs. The top portion has a little click to it. If you can see my fingers actually pushing it down, and that's how the deck knows that you actually want to scratch it and not just speed up the sound or slow the sound down. So it's more absolute. So that way you know exactly when you're pressing it that you are going to be able to, that you're scratching. So let's see what we got here. See, they're very accurate. Whatever you need to do, you can juggle with them very easily. The emulation is perfect. So there you have the jog wheels. When you want to speed it up or slow it down, I like to just use the side.
What you mean I ain't call you?
I hit you when I landed.
Slow it down so you can.
I'm waiting in my hotel room. Seems like we're arguing more and it's getting less romantic. Yeah, I think she'll be able to tell soon, but I will.
So from jog wheels, we move on to the faders and the crossfader. The crossfader here is adjustable. It's pretty much fully adjustable. There's a slider that you can go to within the Traktor S4 program, and you can change the curve adjustment of the crossfader only. And like I said before, as you can see here, you have A, B, C, D on each side of the fader, so you can assign any deck to any side of this fader. So essentially, you have a hamster switch to where you can crossfader reverse control, where you can actually have A over here and B over here, or any combination of the way you like, as I was saying earlier in part 1. So you have a fully customizable fader. It's about 2 millimeters cut in time for the time that the sound starts to play when you start to play it, but it's more than enough to scratch with, more than enough to do, you know, whatever it is you guys want to do. So, you know, I'll show you guys. You can do a little something on here for you. See what we got. My break beats over here. All right, and you know, just do a little something real quick for you.
What you mean I ain't call you? I hit you when I landed. I'm waiting in my hotel room. Seems like we're arguing more and it's getting less romantic. Yeah, I think she'll be able to tell soon, but I f*** you right, I will. I f*** you right, I will. I f*** you like no one has ever made you feel. I mean, it's part of our relationship's amazing still. I might just put up with the arguing and stay for real. You looking mad, girl, for goodness sakes. You with all those curves and me without no breaks. Ooh, I'm willing to work it out however long it takes you. You feel like you miss those happy days, but girl, that makes two of us. Our timing is wrong. Your friends always tying up every line on your phone. Yeah, but tell them bitches that you'll always be my missus, and the hardest part about the business is minding your own.
Quick demo, you know, nothing real fancy. I couldn't really crab scratch because the camera was right there, but it has the capability of doing all that stuff that you need to do with it. I don't know about what's made up underneath this thing because this is not really user replaceable. There's no screw holes here on the face to take this fader up and out, but it feels like it's going to last a long time. It's minimal resistance, you know, good for scratching and good for mixing at the same time. The line faders are a little bit more stiff, you know, a little bit more so you can get your perfect volume for your mix. Also here we're going to go over the deck controls. Each deck has its own controls here. You have a filter which will adjust the, you know, the different EQ levels, and so you can play around with that a little bit. Come over here.
And every time I try and break it off, we just yell until we're tired and I break you off. It's useless all this fighting, let's get past it now. Even when I throw them deuces, you just...
Also, we have the low, mid, and high, and a gain for each individual deck channel here. And if you want to listen to it in the headphones, you press your Q buttons, and everything you press in the Q buttons will be in your headphones. On the front, we have a Q volume knob for your headphone control, and we have a Q/mix fader here, so you can hear whatever's pressed on the Q buttons or what's playing in the master output. Next up, we have the actual effects. Now, the effects on this piece is very serious, very nice. There is FX Controller 1 and an FX Controller 2 here. You can set these up to have 6 different effects playing at the same time. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you control the parameter of each effect using this here. And right now I have in there quite a few. So we'll just mess with a few of them. There's at least 20 different effects here. I don't have time to go through all of them, but
send it back around. Send it back around. Send it back around.
All right, so this deck here, FX1, that's this side. Delay. Add a little gator on there. Let's add a little flange on there, and we can this side. If you press the FX2 button, FX2 button actually corresponds to the other 3 that are over here. Now, with the effects, you can either use 6 effects at a time, or you can use the mode button here, which will actually only be 1 effect, but it will change 3 different parameters of that effect within the program. Like we have a delay up there now, and it is going to change the filter, feedback, and rate of the effect with these 3 buttons. So either you can have a very controlled one type of effect here, or you can have 3 separate effects, and I like 3 separate effects better, so that's what I usually keep it on for myself. In conclusion, you know, the Traktor S4 is an incredible piece of machinery. I mean, everything that Traktor has been coming out with lately has just been great. It's worked exactly as advertised, and it just does what it's supposed to do. Like I said, when I first heard about this piece, I wasn't that excited for it. But the closer that it came to coming out, and the more time that I've got to spend with it, I just really fell in love with the unit. And this is recommended to any DJ of all types. I mean, if you're just a strict scratch turntablist, maybe this is not for you. But if you're trying to mix, remix, do a little scratching, a little sampling, if you're into performing, I mean, this is a big performance piece with all of its loop functions and sample functions. This is definitely the way to go. So pros, the pros that we have, this is an all-in-one unit. Usually that's a negative, but for this beast, that is definitely a positive. We also have scratching and mixing ability. It's 4 complete separate decks here that you're actually getting. You have external throughput inputs on the back, so you can, you know, add your whatever you want to add to it. You know, your decks, your analog decks. Also, they have great jog wheels, similar to the CDJ lineup. Went over that. Also, we have extensive effects that I just went over. And we have innovative sample decks and loop functions as well. On the cons, I have to say the lack of curve control and reverse function for the line faders was a little bit of a letdown, nothing bit real serious. And also the fact that this is a non-metal construction, you know, most of it is a plastic, maybe a little metal maybe to reinforce here and there, but most of it's plastic. But that's a minor gripe, because if this thing was metal, it would weigh a ton, and this thing is pretty light. You know, it's easy to carry around with you and do your mixes on the fly, and it's good for professional setup. It's good for a bedroom DJ. I mean, it's all around heavily recommended by the DJBooth.net family. We really like it, and we'll continue to use it as long as we can. Also, in the near future, they are going to make it so the S4 Traktor program integrates with your Traktor, your other Traktor program, like your Scratch Duo program that I happen to use over here on my DNS 3700s. And soon they will be able to work all 4 of these type of decks together in one piece, you know. And I will actually be able to use, you know, these other 2 lines here to control my other 2 decks, all while picking all of my tracks from the software. So when that comes out, that's going to be awesome. I'll do another video on that, and so I can test that functionality for you all. And that's basically it. I mean, thanks for coming to DJBooth.net. This is a great unit, great piece. If you got enough money to get it, go out there and get it. I think they're coming in at $900, but if you look at it as you're buying a mixer and 2 decks that are excellent, you're gonna be well over $1,000 at the end of the day anyway. So this is the way to go. This is really a way to go, and I'm presently surprised about everything that this thing can do. And I still have so much that I wasn't able to do yet for you guys, but I'm gonna keep on going and keep on having fun with it, as you guys should if you have the time to check one out. So just keep coming to DJBooth.net for the newest reviews, the newest news, and the newest DJ information, because we keep updating Monday through Friday. So just keep coming back and checking us out. Peace.